Has Trump found an off-ramp to the Iran war yet?
No, for sure. I mean, he was talking about restarting the bombing today. And I thought maybe yesterday that you and I would be talking about the new bombing campaign on the show, but obviously that didn't happen. He called it off, as he's done so many times before. He said that he talked to three of the key states in the Gulf, Saudi Arabia being one of them, I think the UAE and Qatar were the other two. And the three of them asked him, this is Trump's story, asked him to postpone the attack because great progress was being made in the negotiations. I think that's not true. I don't think great progress is being made. I think that Trump called off the attack, number one, because those three countries and probably a number of other countries begged him not to attack because they knew what would happen to them if the air war started again. But also because Trump understands full well that launching the bombers against Iran once again is not a war-winning strategy. We bombed Iran for 40 days, starting on February 28th and going up to April 8th. We had this 40-day campaign. We lambasted Iran with the Israelis, and it didn't work. That's why we went to the blockade. Now they've discovered the blockade's not working, and there's no hope of Iran surrendering anytime soon. So the question is, what do you do? And that's why they're thinking about going back to bombing. But bombing, again, is not going to solve the problem. So what do you do if you're Trump? There's only one thing you can do to put an end to this war, and that's to negotiate a deal with the Iranians where you may get some concessions in the end, for sure, especially on nuclear enrichment. But you're not going to get major concessions. And furthermore, it's going to be clear to almost everybody that Iran won the war. And Trump would then have to eat humble pie. And he's not up to eating humble pie at this point in time. But that's the only off-ramp here, unless he wants to just continue the status quo. But that has disastrous consequences, as does bombing Iran. So he really has no out here except to cut a deal.
The New York Times is reporting that Trump paused the strikes on Iran not for negotiations, as he claimed. It's just what you said.
Yeah.
And not because the Gulf allies requested it, but because Iran is becoming rapidly more effective at tracking U.S. air operations, improving its air defenses, and becoming too strong at detecting signs of a surprise attack. Iran has used the ceasefire to successfully dig out all bombed ballistic missile sites, making them fully operational again. Iran has also moved a large number of new mobile launchers across the entire country and adjusted tactics for any resumption of strikes, per a U.S. military official who did not want to be named. This is just what Larry Johnson said yesterday. I'm going to guess that you agree, Professor Mearsheimer.
Sure. And, Larry's well plugged in with the intelligence community. And as we all know from reading the newspapers, the intelligence community has been saying that. The major media sources have been reporting that the intelligence community has made it clear to the president that we did not do as much damage to the Iranian military in that 40-day bombing campaign. And number two, the Iranians have recovered a lot of their damaged assets. They've repaired them. And number three, you want to remember that when countries fight wars, this is true of all countries, not just Iran, but the Iranians learned. Combat is a learning process, and they've figured out all sorts of things about how to wage war against the United States and Israel more effectively. And finally, as we were talking about before, the Russians and the Chinese are helping them. It's not like the Iranians are on their own at this point. They're getting help from the Russians and the Chinese. And all of this just adds up to the fact that launching a new bombing campaign is just not going to, do much for you.
آنچه در مورد ما میگویند